Okay, so the obesity crisis. There's something I'd like to talk to you about, and it's very important to me. It's very important that we should all realize this, I think. The whole idea behind BMI. BMI means body mass index. This is a quick tool that doctors, health professionals, nurse, dietitian use to have a quick glance at your health level. The BMI was invented by health insurance company or life insurance company who wanted to figure out how much money charge people, their clients, for their life insurance. So they hired mathematicians, fancy ones, and they came up with that equation. And so the higher the number, the more likely the patient or the client was to die sooner. So if the BMI was above 25 or above 30, that number gave us an idea of how likely or how bad the patient's health was. So if the number was high, the life insurance company would charge more to that client. And so that's how it was invented. It was how it was created. Now we use it a lot, way too much, in my opinion, in many people's opinion, not just me. It's a tool, but it's got lots and lots of flaws. And one of them is that it bases your analysis or your assessment of someone's health on their weight only. Now, weight is, most people think that the weight is the cause of heart disease or, high blood pressure, high blood sugars, high blood lipids, and all the strokes and cancer and heart disease and heart attacks that comes from carrying extra weight. The problem is, if that weight was really the problem, there wouldn't be any old obese patients around because they all would have died of those illnesses, and there would be no thin people who would die of a heart attack if weight was really the problem. Weight, in fact, is not the cause of all the mortality risk. The weight is a sign of something else. If you eat too much crap, if you don't eat enough fruits and vegetables, you eat lots of food with free radicals, lots of fat, saturated fat, all of those foods, that shows up in you carrying extra weight. That shows up in you having high blood pressure. It shows up in you having more high sugar in your blood, right? So the actual cause is the food, and it's the lack of exercise. So let's call it level of fitness. So the fitness level is the cause of obesity. It's the cause of high blood pressure. It's the cause of high blood sugars and diabetes. It's the cause of high blood lipids and heart attacks. It's the cause of high free radicals and cancer, right? So people have started to think, and they forgot the whole point, that obesity was never the cause. It was a correlation that we use to measure, but it's only the sign, and people have forgotten that. So sometimes you put a patient on a diet and they quit eating all the crap and they start exercising more, and then you see really great results. But was it the weight that changed, or was it the result? Or was it the behavior that changed? The health fitness that changed, right? So people have forgotten that, and now they engage in really crazy unhealthy behavior, like eating foods that are really, really high in fat and free radicals and preservatives and, all that stuff that cause the disease just to lose the weight. But you're not fixing the problem. And the minute you go back to what you were doing in the first place that made you gain all the weight and have a higher risk of mortality, it's not changed. So if you go back to after you're dieted to what you were doing before, you gain all the weight back. So unless you're doing a diet or a change in habits that you can keep doing, if you're changing your weight by starving yourself, it's not going to work. And the problem is that humans are like animals who've evolved in millions of years to survive in really harsh environments. So if there's no food in the winter, the animal survives. It gets better at getting by with less calories. You stop making heat. You use up all your muscle mass because muscles use up a lot of energy, so you don't want too much around, and you use your muscle mass to make sugar for your brain, right? So your body adapts. You become in a starving mode, adaptive mode, where everything slows down. But what happens after, when summer comes, what does happen to the animal after there's no food in the winter? They gorge, they overeat. Same thing with human. The body doesn't know we put ourselves in famine on purpose to lose weight. So every single diet that people will do by restricting calories, even the low carb ones, the ketogenic ones, you lose weight because at the end of the day, there's less calorie that you ingest. So what happens is that they lose the weight, but they have higher hunger after. And that's been shown when you go on a famine or a diet, your GLP-1 level go down. So GLP-1 is a hormone that regulates your appetite. It makes you feel full. When you've dieted, you have less of that hormone, which means that you feel less full. So you're always a little bit more hungry than before you started the diet, which makes sense because we're supposed to survive. The body doesn't know we've done it on purpose. So it's like, next time there's food around, you better eat because this may happen again. So we're going to survive next time around as well. So you become way more efficient with the calories that you do ingest. There's 30 neurotransmitter that regulates appetite in your gut. So I know just 3 of them, but there's a lot more, and we're just starting to realize all this. The other hormones that are in the guts is ghrelin and leptin. When you diet or you go in famine, those hormones go up, again increasing your hunger. So after the diet, you feel less full and you feel more hungry. If you put rats in a lab and you starve them to make them lose weight, after they're done their diet, they will go for the Nutella and not the rat's pellets. After you've dieted, people will go more and more for the highly palatable foods, which makes sense because those are the ones that are more fattening. So the whole idea of obesity crisis today is from health professional forgetting the whole point of why we told people to lose weight. It was because we were hoping that they would change their habits of eating, the wrong foods. We were hoping that they were going to exercise more and eat more fruit and vegetable. But in the end, they just starved themselves. And now we have an obesity crisis from this. We are starving patients. We've told them to lose weight, and now they're bigger and bigger and bigger. And we have created that obesity crisis. The end.